Have you ever wondered why Jesus and Muhammad are the two most talked about figures in the world? Why are billions of people connected to these two names? And more importantly, what do they actually represent? In this video, we're not here to debate or argue. We're here to reflect, learn, and understand. Because when it comes to Jesus and Muhammad, there is more than just history. There is depth, meaning, and a connection to our souls. So, who were they really? What did they teach? And how can understanding them change how we see the world today? Let's explore, slowly, respectfully, together. When we hear the name Jesus, we usually think of Christianity. And that's understandable. Christianity is built around the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Christians believe Jesus is the Son of God, the Savior of mankind, and the one who brought salvation through his sacrifice on the cross. But here's something that surprises many people. Jesus, or Isa in Arabic, is also a central figure in Islam. Yes, Muslims love and honor Jesus too. Not just as a prophet, but as one of the greatest messengers of God. In the Qur'an, Jesus is born miraculously to the Virgin Mary. He speaks as a baby. He heals the sick. He even raises the dead by God's permission. But Muslims don't see him as divine. Instead, God raised him up. In Islam, Jesus is not God, not the Son of God, and he was not crucified. And Muslims believe he will return before the end of time. So, while both religions deeply honor Jesus, they understand him in very different ways. If Jesus is central to Christianity, then Muhammad is central to Islam. Muslims believe that Muhammad is the final messenger, the last prophet in a long line that includes Abraham, Moses, and yes, even Jesus. But Muhammad didn't claim to be divine. He was a man, a human being, chosen by God to deliver his final message, the Qur'an. He was born in Mecca in the year 570 CE, orphaned at a young age, raised with integrity, and known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy. At the age of 40, he received his first revelation in a cave from the angel Gabriel. And from that moment on, everything changed. Muhammad preached monotheism, the belief in one God. He taught people to care for the poor, to be honest, to treat women with respect, and to seek knowledge. His message was powerful, but also challenging, because it disrupted the corrupt systems of his time. Despite persecution, humiliation, and even war, he never gave up. To Muslims, Muhammad is the best example of how to live a righteous life. Not a god, not an idol, but a guide, a mercy, a role model. Today, over 1.9 billion people follow his teachings. Not because he ruled with power, but because he led with truth, humility, and mercy. At first glance, Jesus and Muhammad may seem very different. They lived in different times, in different lands, with different missions. But if we look deeper, there's a surprising amount of shared values. Both taught people to love God. Both called for justice, humility, and compassion. Both stood against greed, arrogance, and cruelty, Both emphasized charity, kindness, and service to others. In short, both were spiritual revolutionaries. Jesus spoke in parables. Muhammad spoke in verses. Jesus healed bodies. Muhammad healed communities. But yes, there are differences too. Christians believe Jesus is the Son of God, part of the Trinity and divine in nature. Muslims believe Jesus is a noble prophet, born of a virgin, miraculous but still fully human. Muhammad, on the other hand, is not recognized in Christian theology. Yet for Muslims, he is the final prophet, the one who completed the message that began with prophets like Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. In Christianity, salvation comes through faith in Jesus and his sacrifice. In Islam, salvation comes through submission to God, righteous deeds, and God's mercy. These are not small differences. They shape how people pray, how they view God, and how they live. But here's something important to remember. Despite these differences, both faiths call people to goodness, mercy, and a connection with the divine. In a world full of division, fear, and misunderstanding, learning about each other is no longer optional. It's essential. Why? Because when we understand someone's beliefs, we stop fearing them. And when we stop fearing, we start connecting. Understanding Jesus and Muhammad is not just a religious study. It's a journey into the hearts of billions of people. It helps us build empathy, challenge prejudice, and open the door to deeper conversations. We don't have to agree on everything to live peacefully, but we do have to try to understand. For Christians, learning how Muslims see Jesus might be eye-opening, that they honor him, love him, and await his return. For Muslims, understanding how Christians see Jesus can spark new respect, even in disagreement. And learning about Muhammad, even just a little, can reveal why so many people admire him not just as a prophet, but as a leader, a father, a teacher, and a mercy to the world. This kind of understanding isn't weakness. It's wisdom, and the world needs more of it. Jesus, Muhammad. Two names that carry so much weight. To men who changed the world in different ways, yet with similar intentions. To guide humanity toward the divine. To uplift the weak. To call for love, justice, and peace. You don't have to follow both. But understanding both might just change your heart. In a world obsessed with debates, maybe we need more listening. In a time of conflict, maybe what we need is curiosity. Not to win arguments, but to build bridges. So here's the invitation. Read, reflect, explore. What did Jesus really teach? What did Muhammad really bring? Ask yourself, if billions of people love them, isn't it worth learning why? If this video sparked a thought, don't let it fade. Keep asking. Keep seeking. Because truth is not afraid of questions,